Hey everyone, welcome to another Angry Artist podcast. Now, as per usual, I will be talking about a subject that will probably be a bit controversial when it comes to art. It's the idea of speed. Now, I got into digital painting in the late 2000s, and by then, I noticed there was a trend of people speed painting. That's because by then, the concept art world was pretty established. Unlike in the early 2000s when it was getting established, by the late 2000s, people were already doing fancy Photoshop tricks in order to make really quick paintings of environments, of characters, and such. It kind of spawned a generation of people who just want to do things fast. And I wanted to put a counterpoint to why I feel that actually hinders the learning process of an artist. And I say this as somebody who grew up with that movement, and I was also into speed painting until I realized it wasn't really helping. So, what is inherently speed painting and the purpose of it? Speed painting is an idea that in a concept art industry, you want to do things faster. And by doing things faster, you get things done for clients quicker, obviously, and that it might be more impressive. I noticed on forums back then, and even probably now if I were to check them out, people tend to focus a lot on how long it took to do something. So for instance, if you say this environment took an hour to do, somehow that might look more impressive to people. Now, my counterpoint is don't focus on speed until you are working for clients. And even then, there are very few situations where the quicker you are, the more impressive it is. Let me explain. Art, obviously, is a game of making pretty pictures. If you were to make a really quick painting and it doesn't look very good, then why does it matter that it's done quickly? Think about it. A client is more likely to say, that is a great painting, than to say, darn, this might not be the best painting I've seen, but it was done in 30 minutes, so I like it. They want to, first and foremost, have something they can use. If it doesn't look good, then doesn't matter how fast or how slow you do something. Notice how I said that. If it was done slowly and the client still doesn't like it, then you're not being efficient. So that's where speed comes in. You need to find a balance. In every single case with client work, there will be mistakes. And we're not psychic. Artists are not psychic. We will not be able to see exactly what the client wants without a few tries. Sometimes you might do it. Sometimes you might have to take a lot of tries. Now, speed is useful in the sense that you don't have to overcommit your time on something that is not going to be used. So when you're trying to pitch ideas to your client, it's best to have something that is done quicker, and that's where speed comes in. Now, that's really not an excuse to make something that's not impressive just so that you can do something in 20 minutes. If you notice the biggest concept artists in the industry, such as Feng Shui, their pieces are presentable by the 20-minute mark. And that takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice. Now, it doesn't mean that you want to just learn how to do 20-minute paintings. The point is to learn art in such a way that you start to learn how to cut corners and how to make it look like it's presentable. Now that varies between styles and the content that you're doing. So if you're painting a bunch of rocks, I'm sure that will probably take a lot faster than if you were trying to paint the Vatican or something. Very complex architecture. When you are learning and as you get better, you will just learn how to be faster and faster because things become more automatic. To force yourself to be fast is an incredibly counterproductive idea because you end up cutting corners that won't look good. You're just rushing instead of making intelligent decisions that will make your work look good while being fast about it. Whereas I started with 30-hour paintings, now I can do something of similar quality or even higher in a much faster time. And I didn't really focus on whether I need to be fast or not. That's the key. Don't focus on speed. No one really cares if you are faster or slower as long as something looks good. Remember that. I guess one way to put it is it's not really about speed, it's more about efficiency. And if you're more efficient, then naturally you will have the speed. But speed doesn't always mean efficiency. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. There's not much more to say. I know it's a bit shorter than usual. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.